everyone, and welcome to episode 63 of United City Randomiser. Just again, as we get going, I'm recording a few of these episodes on bulk, and there's some workmen doing some stuff in my back garden, so if you hear any additional drilling and noises from that, I apologise, but it's worth getting these videos done anyway, so I hope it won't be too disruptive. So, in the last episode, where we got through in the semi-final of the German Cup against Schalke, which was a brilliant result, having just lost to them in the league the game before also, we've done pretty well since. We got a couple of wins, then we drew against Bayern Munich, which I still think was a really good result, and then we again picked up another win against Mainz. And I suggested that this episode would probably be the Bayern Munich not FA Cup final, the German Cup final, unless something was worth fighting for in the last game or so of the season. And you can see that we've still got one game to go, so there must be something to play for, and there is. So if we go to the league, you can see we've got a three-way battle for the last Champions League spot, all three on 60 points. I'm in 6th place at the moment, but that could change today. Now, what I would say is that we're playing Hertha Berlin in 11th, and the two teams that we're up against in Hoffenheim and Schalke have both got reasonable games that I think they're probably going to win. Oh no, that's not true, is it? One of them's got a reasonable game, the other one's playing Bayer Leverkusen. I think, if I remember rightly, one's playing Nuremberg. But we'll check that out as things progress. But anyway, one of them's got a really decent game, so I may not be able to get above them. In terms of goal difference, you can see I'd have to make up quite a big margin. So it's probably going to be difficult for us to get into the 4th spot. But I thought it was worth coming back and having a look anyway. So in terms of everything else that's going on, there's not much else to tell you really. We've had a few injuries recently that most have recovered from. But if we go and have a look at our squad page, our tactics page should I say, the players that are not playing today, you can see that Mount and Bischler and Kempf and Unbehauen have all come back recently from knocks. And so they're not going to be able to play any part today. The rest of the squad, though, is fit and healthy because I've been able to rotate. You can see that the match sharpness for some is a bit less than others because obviously our first 11 do get more games than anybody else. But I think to have that sort of consistency of match sharpness and conditioning at this stage of the season is pretty good. So it shows that they're all getting game time. So today we've got that one-off game to see if we can get in the 4th spot for the Champions League spot for next season. We play a difficult game against Hertha, mid-table side, and our first team squad are pretty much out. So we've got Kabul in goal, Breyer at right back, DeMarco at left back, Gimba and Horatio in defence, Gomez as the deep-line playmaker, Siflidis as the support central midfielder, Gravenberch as the Metzala attack role, Gundogdu on the right, Obando on the left, and Jovic up top. And a couple of our strikers have picked up a little bit of goal-scoring action recently, which is good. On the bench, we've got Denilson, Klunter, De Silva, Saiki, Schweiger, Meyer, and Petrella. That's the team for today. So, yeah. As I say, it's going to be difficult, but we've got to give it a go. One-off game, who knows? We need a couple of results to go in our favour. Let's get into today's game and see what happens. Hertha play the 4-2-3-1. We're playing our 4-3-3 formation, so, interesting matchups around the pitch. We'll see where the space is, if any. There's a familiar face for us, the young-looking Dardé, who we had on loan quite a long time ago now, in the first couple of seasons of this save, considering we're nearing the end of season 6. Yeah, it was quite a while ago, but he doesn't age, does he? So, yeah, we'll go into the team talk. Sorry, that made me chuckle. It shouldn't have, but, there we go. We're going to assertively say we have a chance to qualify for the Champions League, so go out there and impress me. And then we're going to motivate them by passionately saying, there's a lot more to come from you, and I completely believe you've got what it takes. We're going to do that throughout the side and just see if we can get some extra momentum and motivation in our players for today's game. As I say, the recent results have been very good, so I'm quietly confident that we can get a result. It's about what happens with others. So let's get to kick off. So we're away from home, which is unfortunate, I guess, in such a circumstance to be away from home. Oh, that's gone too quick. Let's slow that down a little bit. I was speeding through some other games necessary to get the videos recorded. Go back into it. That's better. So, yeah, it's unfortunate to be away from home at this point, but, that's the card that we've been dealt. We had an opportunity for Hertha then off a throw-in, was it? I can't remember, a corner, but now comes a corner after a bit of a muddy clearance. Originally it was a bit sort of pinball around the area before we managed to get it clear, and again they come back at us, but no, they're a loose ball, and Gundogdu picks up the ball and runs slightly strangely across the pitch, but keeps the ball, which is great, and we continue the momentum. Gravenberch back to DiMarco into Gomez, playing the controlled possession style that we're now used to. Gundogdu through to Gravenberch, strike on goal, and the goalkeeper palms it wide for a corner kick, which hopefully we can make the most of. Gravenberch on the corner kick puts it into the 6-yard box, but it's half cleared to Siflidis. Back out to Gravenberch on the wide left. Cross comes in, but again it's cleared, and this time they pick up the ball on the clearance. But a brilliant foot in there, and we stop the highlight dead. So you can see in the original instance, Gundogdu picks the ball, turns and finds Gravenberch, who puts a decent enough shot. Maybe slightly lower would have been better, but the goalkeeper palms it round the post, and that led to our corner kick. Another corner kick, which Gravenberch takes out to the top of the penalty box for Abando, who finds Gundogdu on the left, again into Abando, Siflidis, and it bounces around and again goes out for a corner kick, I think. So another opportunity for Gravenberch to hopefully get a better delivery in there. And the delivery goes straight to the penalty area, and Gundogdu picks up the loose ball, and again it goes wide out to Gravenberch, wide right, and it's cleared, but we pick up the loose ball. Again, another opportunity to see the Gundogdu Abando sort of prolonged 1-2, and eventually it was half cleared to Siflidis, and they got a bit fortunate, didn't they, really? Bit of a deflection. But it's quite a highlight heavy game so far, 13 minutes in. That was several highlights all in a row, but nobody managed to make the most of it, and now the game settles down into a bit more of a chilled out kind of pattern. You can see that possession stats we're doing okay in. We've had a couple more opportunities on goal than they have. A decent opportunity for a long throw, Abando, and Siflidis should have done slightly better on the header, goes marginally wide, and again we didn't quite make the most of a decent opportunity, but still the highlights are coming, which is good, and we're playing well enough to be in the game at half time. But at this point it's a little frustrating, isn't it, that we're on top of the game but we're not quite taking our chances, and that will lead us into half time. So we'll go in and you can see the stats of the game there. We're doing okay. Where are the likes of Hoffenheim, wasn't it? They're 1-0 down to Leverkusen, which we expected. And who was the other one? Schalke, wasn't it? And they're drawing at the moment. We need to get a goal, don't we? So we're going to have to be assertive again and say, I'm not happy with your performance, and just try and motivate them to go out there with a bit more desire in the second half and see if we can find a magical way to get into the Champions League for next season. Still with a cup final to come, of course, against really hard opposition in Bayern Munich, but it's a one-off game and we'll give that a really good go as much as we can. But today's about the Champions League qualifying, so 60 minutes in, and not such a highlight-heavy second half so far, has it? We're almost at the point where I begin to think about making substitutions. In fact, we're going to do that in a second after this highlight. Loose ball occasionally there, and eventually finds its way to Horatio, who knocks it long. Fortunately for us, the knockdown goes to Siflidis. Gravenberch puts it out to Breyer on the right hand side, and again we used a patient build up. It goes back to Gomez, into Siflidis, back out to Breyer, passing the ball nicely, setting the players up to where we want them to be. Gundogdu back to Siflidis, Gravenberch through to Gundogdu on the strike, and there's the goal. Gravenberch powers the ball into the far corner of the goal, which was a lovely build-up, wasn't it? It was such the style of play that we want, a nice patient build-up. Keep moving it around that midfield. Keep the vertical tiki-taka, I think we've got it as a way of play, and you can see that moving back and forth up the pitch to get us into decent positions, and eventually Gundogdu gets it quite wide but manages to power the ball into the bottom right hand corner. And we're going to pause the game there and go in and see what our team is like in terms of their ratings and their fitness. Fitness is not too bad. Siflidis is the lowest one and has also picked up a yellow card and isn't doing brilliantly, so we will bring him off and we'll bring Saiki on and then move Gomez into the slightly more advanced position. Jovic again hasn't found his scoring boots, so Petrella can come on for him. And then we got one more to make, and it's either Breyer on the right of defence, Klunter, yes, that's what we're going to do. He wasn't having a brilliant game. So those are the 3 substitutions. We'll keep the shape that we've got and the style of play because it seems to be working okay. And hopefully for the last 10 minutes we can keep the ball and maintain possession and see the game out. And then we'll have to check in with what other teams are doing. I deliberately don't have them on the screen as a distraction during our games. But once the game is over, we're there. And Gravenberch powers it against the crossbar. But apparently they're awarded a free kick. I guess there was an offside of some sort. But it was an amazingly powerful strike by Gravenberch, even though slightly too high. And here they come, maybe for the last time. They've got 15 seconds left of the added time at the end of the second half, but we've taken the ball and Gundogdu out wide right and eventually goes for a corner kick. I suspect, hopefully, this is the last part of the game and it's going to tick down to the full-time whistle. One opportunity to get a decent cross in off the corner. No, it's not even given to us. So we managed to get a 1-0 win, which is fabulous. So let's go and check in with how everybody else did. And Schalke and Hoffenheim are the ones that we need to look out for. So we'll say passionately well done. That was a good win for us. And then let's go and see what that did to the league table. And you can see, Schalke, they came back and they won 3-0. Bayer Leverkusen beat Hoffenheim and we finished 5th, equal on points but 5 goals behind Schalke. I thought that was pretty much the way it was going to go. It was unfortunate. Nuremberg did very well for the first half, didn't they, to hold them to a 0-0 draw, but the second half the power of Schalke shone through and they managed to nick that spot. So I hope the board aren't too disappointed by that, but we still do have that cup final to come. So let's just check in with the last bits of news. Curtain comes down on the Bundesliga. Gundogdu shines. People are spotted in stadiums looking at players. Great. We've been given a lovely amount of money again from the Bundesliga, 60 million this time. That helps keep our financial structures really sound, which is really positive. We'll see what sort of transfer budget we get in the next week or so for next season, I hope. We'll talk about that next episode more so. But in 7 days, in terms of game time, we have the mighty Bayern Munich in the German Cup final. So that's going to be really tough, but we've managed to get there. We deserve to be there, so we're going to have to give it as good a go as we can get. So come back next episode for the German Cup final. Until then, if you're enjoying the series, why not chuck a subscribe on the channel? That keeps you up to date with all the videos. If you enjoyed this episode, why not click a like on it? That helps me get seen by other people, widens the net for my channel, which is really important to me, so that would be great. But until next episode, if you're playing Football Manager yourself, tell me what's going on in your save. Let me know in the comments below how your games are going and what you're enjoying about it and what you're learning about it. It's always interesting to hear. But until next time, take care of yourselves and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Thanks very much for watching this episode of the United City Randomiser save. If you enjoyed the video, then why not click on the like button, as that would really help me. If you think you know anyone who would really enjoy my Football Manager content, then feel free to share this with them. But most importantly, if you would like to join my United City here on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with my video releases. If you have anything you want to say about the United City save or the channel itself, then feel free to leave a comment below, but please try and be nice with each other. That'll do for today, so until next time, stay happy and healthy, and I will see you soon.